Hello and welcome to this exciting collaboration between the Ellen MacArthur Foundation and the Lego Group. My name is Harry and I'm delighted to be joined today by our guest David Palash from the responsibility team at the Lego Group. And joining us today, we also have a group of students from Ride School on the Isle of Wight. Now, today's session is all about harnessing our creativity to build a better future. Something that's absolutely vital and at the forefront of our minds at the moment. And we will be introducing the idea of the circular economy, explaining what it is. Then we're going to be running through some Lego warm-up activities. So we'll be getting hands-on and creative with the Lego bricks. And lastly, we will be introducing a circular economy challenge, and then it'll be over to you to take on that challenge. But before we kick things off, I believe, David, you've got a warm-up activity for us.
I do. The first of many. It wouldn't be a Lego workshop without a few bricks, but have no fear if you don't have bricks. You can, of course, use things around you. But what we're going to do for our warm-up is this. If you have Lego bricks, I want you to choose 10 elements. It can be bricks or something else. Choose your 10 favorite elements in front of you and bring them towards you. If you don't have bricks, then find 10 objects close to you and bring them nearby. And I'll give you a slightly different warm-up activity, but both connected. All right. So hopefully you've chosen those 10 bricks or 10 objects and you're ready for your challenge, the warm-up challenge. Let's do it. So what I would like you to do, we'll give you a minute to do this. We would like you to, let me choose 2 of my favorite bricks here for an example. So I've got these 2 here. You can see 2 yellow bricks. I want you to stack these on top of each other as high as possible. But here's the thing, you can't connect them. So I'm talking about edge to edge, no connection. See if you can balance them high. Don't start yet. I'll give you the countdown. If you have 10 objects near you, this is tricky. I want you to see how high you can balance those objects on top of each other. Okay, so two challenges there, both connected. It's all about seeing how high you can build up. All right, so let's start the minute now. Go. Right, I'm going to try it too. Let's do this. See how you do, everyone. How are you doing, Harry? You doing well?
Yeah, pretty good.
I'm 5 high now, 5 bricks high.
That needs to go on last.
6. I've just broken mine down. Brilliant.
Oh.
See how tricky it is, everyone?
I got the handshake. I've just dropped them all.
It's so difficult. I'm starting again. We've got about 30 seconds left, everyone. 30 seconds left. I am not doing well here. Let me try again. So this is all about testing, experimenting, failing, and then trying again. Okay, so I've got 7 there. We have got 20 seconds. Ooh, got about 10 seconds left. Uh-oh. We're going to try a few more.
2, 3.
How are you doing out there? I hope you're doing well. Let's see. And your time is up. How do you do? Hands off. I'm looking at all of you out there. I can see it. Good. Well done. Well done. How did you do? If you're at home, of course, put how many you built high in the chat box. But we're going to go now, I think, Harry, and just talk to a few and see how they did. Let's ask group 1. How high was the maximum you built?
Only 1, because they both got destroyed within the last second.
Oh, no! Don't worry. This happens. Well done, though, for trying. Group 2, how do you do?
We got 6 high.
6! Well done! Big round of applause. That is brilliant. Big virtual round of applause. I can hear it from here. Right, group 3, how did you do?
We got 7.
Well, we got 7. We did have some collapses as well, unfortunately.
Part of the game, but well done. 7 is good. 7 is good. Look at that. That's brilliant. And last but not least, group 4, how do you do?
We got this 9.
9! My goodness, it's a world record. Well done. Round of applause for both groups 3 and 4. Well done. I think 9 is the record there. Harry, did you give it a go? What did you get?
Yeah, I've got 7 pieces here, but it's not as high as groups 2 or 9.
Well,
how have you done,
that's
David?
A good effort. I did. I got 8. I surprised myself.
Okay, great. Right, well, that was a good warm-up activity. So what have we been picking up there? How's that going to help us, David, in the rest of the session?
Well, you are all going to be tapping into your creativity, your problem solving, your brick building is only part of it. It's the tip of the iceberg. The bricks can be anything you want them to be, and that's what we will see later. You can build in metaphors, you can make a brick, anything you like. So tap into that later, and we're going to have some fun. Over to you, Harry.
Great. Thanks, David. First of all, what is this mysterious thing we call creativity? Well, the dictionary says that creativity is the ability to produce or use original and unusual ideas. But we much prefer Einstein's take on it, that creativity is intelligence having fun. And that really captures the essence of today. It's all about having fun. And David, I believe you've got a nice quote that you like to use about creativity.
I do. We were talking about this the other day, weren't we? So I love that. Someone very wise once said, creativity is applied imagination. I love that. And I think that speaks volumes. But Harry, why is creativity so important?
So creativity allows us to imagine possibilities that don't yet exist and to make those possibilities into something real. Now, there's no hiding from the fact that many of the things that have made us prosperous since the time of the Industrial Revolution will not continue to make us prosperous in the future. So we need to bring new possibilities into reality right now. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're here to answer the question, how can we create a better future on this planet? We believe that one very important piece of the puzzle is this idea of the circular economy. Simply put, a circular economy is a new way to design, make, and use things within the limits of our planet. And it is based on 3 principles driven by design: to eliminate waste and pollution, to keep products and materials in use, and to regenerate nature or natural systems. Now, the emphasis on the design aspect is absolutely crucial. We know that around 80% of a product's environmental footprint is determined at the design stage. So we need to think about all of our products, the services, the systems, all of those things around us that make up our day-to-day economy. We need to think about redesigning them. And to give you a clearer picture of the circular economy, help bring it to life, we're going to share this video clip with you.
We live in a world with finite materials.
We are throwing an awful lot of electronics,
Plastic, food, carpets,
Clothing.
away. It's a waste of precious materials.
If we could build an economy that would use things rather than use them up, we could build a future that really could work in the long term.
You design the product in a way that
Can be taken apart. Once the consumer has finished using them,
you remanufacture it and give it out again. You can reduce your production costs hugely if applied correctly.
Instead of garments ending up in landfill.
Companies can repurpose it, reuse it, making profit out of their waste.
We take some resources from nature and bring it back in the form of nutrients.
It's very much a natural cycle.
We use 70% less water than conventional agricultural methods.
Our packaging is not a waste, it's something that you can consume and eat.
We redesign everyday products to make them fully recyclable.
We farm as close to nature as is possible.
The H&M Group has set ambitious targets to use 100% sustainably sourced materials.
There is a lot of conversation about not buying clothes, but different models where you can rent clothing.
We developed fully modular headphones that we offer on a subscription basis.
The circular economy itself is inevitable in my view.
It's not one fix, it's about the entire system being redesigned.
This is, to me, the only way to fight climate change, to fight pollution, to fight waste.
This is a business model that stacks up.
Global companies cannot survive in the future without transitioning towards a circular economy. That is a really exciting future.
So we've just seen some really cool and exciting examples of the circular economy in practice. So David, what's Lego doing in this space?
There's a bunch of stuff we're doing, but two examples would be the replay scheme that we have going in the US, where we're gathering bricks that are sitting in people's attics and not in use, and putting them back into use, quite simply, getting them out to children, families that might not have that much learning through play in their lives for whatever reasons, and getting those bricks back into circulation, which is a wonderful thing. Then we also have the example of the plants from plants elements. So I've actually got one here. Now these are a couple of years, I think 2019, we put these out. These are they're made from sugarcane based plastic. So it's a new innovative plastic that we're using for all of our plant elements. So every time you buy a Lego set and they got these in them, that's where they come from. So that's just two examples, Harry, but it's an exciting area. But now we're going to talk about learning through play. Now, learning through play is our favorite way to learn. It's our brain's favorite way to learn. We're all born playful. It's how we learn about the world around us. It's how we experiment, we fail, we explore. We're all doing that a bit earlier when we're building our towers. But it's also something that we need to kind of flex and develop, just like a muscle. But the best thing about play, it's a bit of a Trojan horse, right? When we play, we're actually developing things like creativity, imagination, collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving, and many, 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 many more. We all benefit from play, from children, young adults, all the way to grown-ups in their day-to-day jobs. So imagine if all of you out there today tapped into that playful side to help us find ways to make the planet more sustainable. Well, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be using kind of an approach called Build the Change, which is a program we have in the Lego Group, where we give people a real-world problem, a real-world challenge, a real-world issue, and then we ask people to build solutions for it. So that's the approach we're going to be taking today, and I can't wait to see what you all come up with. But to inspire you first, we've got a few examples here of ways that playfulness and a playful approach might have come up with some solutions. So let's look at the first one here. We have this lovely box turtle. You might be able to see on the screen now. There it is. Now, this box turtle had a damaged shell at the back. It's currently residing in Maryland Zoo in the US. And they actually took some Lego Technics and some wheels and built the turtle a contraption that enabled it to walk. Isn't that wonderful? Look at its little face. It looks slightly embarrassed, but I'm sure he's having a good day. Now, another example is our good friend David Aguilera, and he was born with one arm, and he decided to build his other arm out of Lego Technics. So we have that example you can see very shortly on your screens. He's actually built, more than 20 different arms out of Lego Technics that he can use for various different things. He can program them, he can move them around. It's pretty wonderful. There he is. Look at him. What an awesome, awesome role model. So the main message here is we are all playful. Whatever age we are, we can all benefit from a playful approach. So we're now going to go into some activities. So we promised to get some more Lego activities in here. The first one is a 2-minute challenge. So get your hands ready, get them warmed up, And here is the challenge. You'll see it on your screens now. We would like you to build a fantasy creature in 2 minutes. We would like you to give that fantasy creature perhaps a name. Think about where he lives or she lives, what they eat, how they move, what they do, what they're doing today. Maybe they're just chilling out, watching some TV or drinking some, I don't know. You come up with it. The world is your oyster. Build a fantasy creature in 2 minutes. Your time begins now. So I'm also going to do it. Harry, are you going to build one?
Yep, I'm doing it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Right. I'm going to build something here. I hope you're all building out there. Remember, think about what they might eat. It's a fantasy creature. It can, of course, be based on something you've seen on this planet. I'm speaking of planet Earth, for those of you who might have a choice there. But on planet Earth, something you've seen might influence what you're building. Maybe there's some adaptations in the animal. Sorry?
Have you seen things on other planets?
Yes, I don't like to brag about it, but Lego did send me up into space a couple of times just to explore for some cool ideas for future sets.
some Mars building sets.
It's very difficult to build in zero gravity, Harry. That is one challenge. That is one big challenge.
Well, they managed
but I overcame
they managed
it.
to fly that helicopter on Mars recently.
They did. They did. That was pretty cool. It was a 10-second flight. I managed a couple minutes when I was there last. So, again, I don't want to brag, but that's how it is. That's how it is. Hope your building's going okay, guys. I am building away here. I could have taken one of these lovely birds that's sitting next to me and just adapted that, but they're too nice. Too nice. Wouldn't want to do that. Right. We are looking at about 20 seconds left, everyone. 20 seconds left. I've got a big pile of my Lego bricks here, sifting through. Okay. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bricks down. All right, well done. That is the first of a couple challenges coming up. Hope you enjoyed it. We are going to go over now to group one. Group one. We would love to hear a little bit about what you've built. Could you share with us your creatures?
We only had time to build one. We built it together. It's a warble, and this is like water, and it's coming out of the water.
I love that. So one more time, the name is a warble.
A warble.
A warble. I love that. I'm going to use that word more often. Thank you for that. That is your gift to us today. Harry, I believe you want to talk to group two.
I've made like a sea creature, and it's got 3 legs, and it can camouflage into the grass as well. So.
Oh, very nice. I like that. I like the camouflage touch. That's clever. And what else have you got?
I've built this sort of little bush planty thing with some eyes on, and it's called Shirley. And if somebody steps on it, it eats it. So yeah.
Okay, Shirley, the bush plant that eats people. Great. And the last one?
I've made a dog called Fish. It can go underwater and stand underwater for as long as it wants.
Lovely.
And Bob.
A dogfish called Bob. Perfect. Perfect. Well, I've made the Loch Ness monster here. It's got his 2 eyes, his little snaky hump thing, and a tail. And that's obviously, he lives in the Loch Ness up in Scotland. Okay, great. So, David, back over to you.
Brilliant, brilliant. And my little creature, the cronky, he's going to zoom back over here. He kind of flies around, causing mischief. but getting people to play, that's another thing he does. Good. Right. Our next challenge is this, everyone. So we would like you within 3 minutes, I'm going to get my timer ready again. Within 3 minutes, we would like you to build your first memory of being in nature. Now, if you don't have bricks in front of you, of course you can draw it, you can sculpt it out of a nice piece of rock, whatever you like, but just try and convey that first memory you have in nature and share it with us in the chat. And we'd love to see those. Okay, off you go, build. Right, Harry, let's do this. Have you ever been into nature, Harry?
Well, I grew up on the Isle of Wight, David, so I was very fortunate. I was blessed with some beautiful natural surroundings. How about yourself?
Well, I grew up in the States, in America. So I until 10 was in Georgia, down in the southern states, and my brother and I would always be out catching snakes and lizards and stuff. So it's kind of informed the rest of my life, really. I love it.
Aren't you going on a lizard catching holiday soon?
I am going to go and look for sand lizards, which are a very rare lizard in the UK, and I've never seen one. And we are going to go and try and find them in June. Yeah, that's right, Harry. A lot of nature in my life. I think sand lizards. Check them out if you don't know them. They're pretty cool. They're very cool. So I'm building first memory. I think I've got a good one. A lot of my early memories in nature definitely involve me being out, hanging out with my brother. Good times. So I'm going to try and picture one of those. Let's see. Let's get one of those. So you have a lot of nature on the Isle of Wight, don't you, Harry?
Yeah, certainly. We've got some beautiful woodlands and not really mountains. We've got some hills and some downland. We're surrounded by the coast, obviously the sea, and we recently had sea eagles reintroduced to the Isle of Wight.
That is amazing. Yes, that is a project I'm very aware of, as you know. I love that.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen one. I haven't seen one myself yet.
They're incredible. They're incredible. Timer update. We've got 1 minute left, everyone. 1 minute left. So get those. Oh, I can see people picking up speed. Don't be pressured too much. But less than a minute left, because I said that a few seconds ago. So carry on. Yeah, the sea eagles are incredible. They're like flying barn doors, as they say. They once seen, never forgotten. Right. Let's see how we're doing here. Let's see. Got 20 seconds left, everyone. No pressure. Don't panic. All right. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Finish building. Pause building. Whatever you like to do, you can always go back to it later if you really want to complete it. I know I do sometimes with my builds. Once you get an idea, you want to see it through. So I hope you found that fun, and it's always good to reconnect with memories in the past, especially when it's about nature for me. But I'm really curious about what everyone's built. So let's go to group 3 and see what they've built. If you guys would like to share.
Okay, so it's not a first memory, but it's definitely a fond memory of building dens in the forest with my dad. So yeah, it's a little
brilliant. I love that. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, so mine I've actually put myself in. I don't know if you can see. I look a little funny in it. But my earliest years were spent in the Netherlands, and I remember we would drive. My parents and I would drive like 3 hours to the coast, and I just remember looking at the sea, and there was a dead fish in front of me. So I've included the dead fish, but it was a very lovely memory.
I love that. I love it. Well, it is part of nature and part of life. That's it. And that dead fish fed something else. So there we go. Thank you for sharing. And last but not least,
you'll have to excuse. I spent way too much time on the pram. My first memory actually is in nature. I remember very vaguely my mum taking me on a walk in the forest, and so I've got one tree and this massive pram. But I remember sitting. It was raining, and I was sitting behind that screen that you put down in front of kids so they don't get wet, and seeing all the droplets and the trees and stuff like that. And so that is what I've built.
That's brilliant. But look at the stories you guys have put behind all of those builds. So very quick builds, but such richness. I mean, that last example, that was lovely. We all remember being behind those sheets and just seeing the little drops. It's been a while. I might, try that out again. Get some plastic from the garage. Just sit behind it. Brilliant. Thank you for sharing. Now, Harry, would you like to ask Group 4?
Yes, Group 4. What's your first memories of being in nature?
When I went in it's not my first, but it's when I went, when we moved house and I first went in the garden. And I remember being a pond and a big tree.
Okay, brilliant. So you've got a pond and a tree there. That's your memory of your garden. What else have we got?
I've always loved little mini beasts, and spiders have always been really important to me because I feel spiders are really special in the world and they have unique characteristics. And I remember the first time seeing a tarantula. I was at the zoo and it was on a wall, and I just was so mesmerised by its amazing body parts and how furry it was. So just
wow, that's brilliant. So that's your tarantula.
Yes.
Nice. Did you actually hold it in your hand?
Yes, I have held one tarantula before. It was a very enjoyable experience, and when after all this lockdown's over, I hope to get back into the zoo and have a look at them.
Well done. I think I would freak out if I had a tarantula on me. But that's cool. You're very brave. Last one then.
I've built a forest because one of the most frequent memories I have is going on a walk with my mum in the forest, and there's bushes and trees and stuff.
That's brilliant. That's actually quite similar to the one that I've got here. One of my earliest memories is going for a walk with my grandparents in a bluebell wood. And I never forget the first time I saw that carpet of bluebells at springtime and how magical and otherworldly that experience is. It really stuck with me. So I've got myself here with one giant eye and my two grandparents, and we're sort of floating on this sea of bluebells in the forest. There we go. What did you do, David?
Thanks, Harry. I thought you'd never ask. I built a memory, as I said, with my brother when we lived in the States, and we used to go out, and there's this little black thing here is a snake. We used to catch a snake called the cottonmouth or water moccasin, which is a very venomous snake. And we used to take it back to show my mother, who would react relatively calmly, all things considered. We used to take back scorpions, black widow spiders. You'd like that one, the chap that spoke earlier. Really, really amazing that we didn't get hurt, actually. But fantastic memories nonetheless.
That's great. I'm glad you're still here with us, David.
Me too. Right, well done. Thank you so much for sharing your nature stories. Would love to hear even more of those. So do share. Now, our final warm-up activity is another 2-minute activity. And this is an interesting one. Actually, if you've got phones handy at home, you might want to take some photos of what you're building along the way with this to keep tabs on how many things you're building, because this is a little bit of an interesting challenge. We would like you, firstly, to choose 10 elements, 10 Lego elements in front of you. If you don't have 10 Lego elements in front of you, grab those 10 random objects near you and you can use those. And we would like you to arrange the bricks or the objects into as many recognizable objects as you can that you find in your life. It could be a toaster. It could be a shoehorn. It could be a pair of shoes. It can be whatever you like. But we want to get this idea that you're going to build something very simply or arrange something very simply, deconstruct once you've done it, and build something else. So we're going to see how many things we can reconfigure and build. All right? Does that sound good? It sounds a little challenging. I think it is, but let's give it a go. You're going to have 2 minutes on this. Let's start the clock now. Off you go. Off you go. Wow. So 10 elements. Harry, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. Let's see.
Yeah, I haven't got my 10 elements yet. 1, 2, 3.
I am just going to try. All I want to do is get more built than Harry. That's just, those are the things that drive me.
All right, I've got to keep a tally. Keep a tally.
So let's see how many we can build. Okay, into different things. So see how you do. See how you do. It's coming up with the, let's see.
How many are you on, David?
I'm on number 3 now.
Number 3? Oh, you need to catch up. I'm on 4.
Oh, no! Okay, number 3 done. I'm on number 4 now, buddy. Watch out. Probably didn't help that I chose one colour because it doesn't help the old memory, creativity spark. But it's that extra challenge. Right. Yeah, just found one. Just found another. And they can be really simple things. Okay, we're down to, gosh, already 40 seconds to go, everyone. 40 seconds to go. Let's see how you do. 30 seconds. I'm on 6 now, I think. Harry, how are you doing?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6.
6 as well. Remember, you're taking them apart, building new ones out of the same elements. And time is up. Stop building. How'd you do? How'd you do? Let me stop my clock. Good stuff. How did everyone do out there? I'm looking at faces I can see at least, and no one's crying. That's good. No one's crying. So I think we're going to start with group 1. I'm going to ask that, and then Harry will engage with group 2. So group 1, how many things did you build?
Like 3 or 4.
Brilliant. What kind of things did you build?
A pineapple.
Great.
An apple. And I built a fire truck.
Those things are often found together, I know. So I can see the logical thinking there. That's brilliant. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So Harry, over to you.
Group 2. So how many different things did you manage to build?
2 of us got 5 and 1 of us got 3.
That's pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah.
Talk us through some of them.
I did a river, a grave, and a DNA strand, but I had to take them apart because I just had like these blue bricks and yeah.
A DNA strand. How did you make a DNA strand?
Well, I just like kept stacking them on top of each other, like all in a circle, and then like just keep on adding them, and I eventually got a DNA strand.
Great, nice one. So how was that? Did you find that challenging? How many elements did you build? What did you build? Let us know using the chat function, and keep an eye out for who built the most. So it's now time to unveil our circular economy challenge. Now, we wanted to make this challenge feel as real as possible. So we've teamed up with After the Pandemic, an organisation working to reimagine, rethink and redesign spaces and places in the wake of the pandemic. So we now have this incredible opportunity to regenerate this piece of land here, which is located in Glasgow beside the River Clyde. Now, what's really cool about this is that this piece of land is on the main walkway to where the climate conference, the COP26 climate conference, will be held in November. For those of you who don't know, the COP26 climate conference is where the world's leaders congregate to discuss climate change and what we can do about it. So it's really cool that we've got this space. It's 3,000 square meters, and your challenge is this: to using the principles of a circular economy to guide you, create a space where businesses, people, and nature can flourish together. So it's really vital that we're concentrating on those three things working in harmony. And so we're going to get designing in just a moment, but first of all, to give you a slightly clearer image, this is a zoomed in drone shot of the space, and you can see the bottom left hand corner, there is a car. That just helps you gives a sense of scale. So it's not a huge area of land, but it's certainly enough to do something really interesting with. So we're going to break this challenge down into three parts because it's a big challenge. The first part is to focus on nature. Now we are asking the question, how can we help nature and biodiversity to flourish in the area? And it's really important that we start here with nature, because ultimately people and the economy and businesses are dependent on the natural world for their survival. So it makes sense that this is our starting point. So we're going to have 3 minutes. Are you ready? Get building.
So Harry, have you ever done something, locally, even in your garden, to bring a bit more nature back?
I have actually, David. So a couple of years ago, I rescued a hedgerow from being uprooted and replaced by a brick wall. And I was pretty angry about this because this hedgerow was a real haven for all kinds of birds, from thrushes to sparrows to goldfinches to robins. So I was really quite adamant that it remain a hedgerow, and thankfully it has. What about you, David? What have you done?
Yeah, we've done a few things in the garden. We've got some bee hotels where these solitary bees kind of lay their eggs over winter, and they shelter in there as well. We've got a couple ponds as well. We've seen so many frogs and newts suddenly appear in the neighbourhood where once they weren't around. They probably were, but just hiding. They're there, and it's just great doing our bits. But just back to the build, Harry, there's a lot to convey in a creative build here. How can we do this?
Yeah, I mean, certainly there is. So it's all about imagination and storytelling. So as you're doing this building, just think the bricks can represent anything. So this could be a garden space, a green space. This brick here could be a restaurant or a theatre, could literally be anything you want it to be. So you can build, it's all about how you build this up and then tell the story of what you've built.
Insects, space for insects, because insects need our help at the moment. They are decreasing in numbers, and when insects go, then it makes every other living thing have a bit of a harder time. So they don't have food. So all the birds eating those insects will suffer. What about you, Harry? What are you putting in?
I'm putting in a pond at the moment. Some vegetation. I need some trees.
Nice.
Just lots of green space.
Nice. Are you putting vegetation around the pond?
Yes, I am. Yep.
I'm building a pond right now with some marginal vegetation, because you need, some marginal vegetation, the traditional pond plants for certain insect species and for frogs to hide in. So I'm really giving that some thought. It's right up my street. Probably more detail than you expected there, Harry. Sorry.
I expected some kind of reptile in there, David.
Well, reptiles. See, if you want reptiles, and that site in Glasgow looks great for them, I must say, because it's a lot of rough terrain. You could even put down, now reptiles love things to hide under. So what a lot of ecologists do is they put down metal sheets on the ground for reptiles to shelter under. And they like them because if they're metal sheets, they hold warmth, and reptiles being warm-blooded, they'll get under there and heat up so they can go hunting. So that's a good point. I'm going to put some of those down, maybe some logs as well, because lizards love those. So we have 10 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop your building, stop your drawing. Now, whatever you've built, created, drawn, sculpted, chiseled, take a picture, put it in the chat box. We'd love to see those. But for now, we are going to go straight to our lovely Group 1 and see what they've built. Hello, Group 1. We'd love to hear, what did you put into your space?
We built a garden, and we've got the trees and bees here. We've also got a duck pond with stepping stones in it. Lovely. And then, last but not least, we've got some beehives and flower garden.
Fantastic. I can already picture myself sitting in there.
Shall we speak to one more group? Let's hear from Group 3, please.
Well, this is the River Clyde right here, and this is a two-top kind of cafe. So we have a rooftop garden, and on that rooftop garden we have lots of trees, lots of greenery. We also have an insect hotel to protect those insects, and all the food waste that people produce is used in compost in this garden up here at the top.
That's great. And where is there, did you say there's a cafe up there?
Yes, well, the cafe is down below, and then you ascend to have your food in the scenic rooftop garden.
So
and it's a solar panel as well.
The food waste from the cafe is composted, and then that goes onto the rooftop garden to fertilise and grow vegetables and so on.
Yeah, and we grow vegetables and fruits, but also there's plants that you can forage from and things like that, so that the cafe feeds the garden and the garden feeds the cafe. And
I like that. I like the foraging element as well. I think there's an educational twist to that, whereas you could imagine groups of young people, groups of kids coming to learn about what you can forage, what's edible, what's not, and then preparing their own meals with it. I really love that idea. So we've had a look at nature, how we can support nature, and now it's on to the next step of the challenge. People and community. So we're asking ourselves here, what can we provide for people to support community health and well-being? Now, this is absolutely a vital element. We know that well-being is essential to a thriving economy and to a thriving society. And the kinds of things you might want to think about here is, well, we've already considered green spaces. We know that's important for people's health and well-being, but consider as well, how do people move around this space? Consider vehicle-free zones, perhaps, because you don't want cars running everywhere and creating lots of fumes. So can we encourage things like cycling and walking? And what else do people need? Maybe some artwork, maybe some entertainment. So all of those things combined will hopefully go to creating a space that is really livable and beautiful and inviting for people. So,
Harry, could I add something?
Yes, David.
I would also say, what about playful spaces? Think back to when you were younger. What spaces did you use? But also remember, play isn't just for children. Young people and adults need playful spaces too. We can all benefit from those. So give that some thought too. But I think, Harry, everyone's ready. Shall we start the timer?
Yep, that sounds good, David.
Let's do it. Here we go. Off you go. Start building now. Okay. And remember, if you don't have any Lego bricks in front of you, you can draw, you can create any way you like. We talked about mud earlier. Maybe you'd like to get some mud, mix some water in and mold it out of that, like we used to do when we were kids.
You got some good ideas for this one, David?
Yeah, I'm currently building, got an idea around an art gallery on the site that uses, materials recyclable materials and also natural materials to create art that could, we could have famous resident artists come in and leave the work there to sell and fund the space further. So that I was just giving some thought around that.
Nice.
And I just called Damien Hirst, and he's already agreed to do the first one. So that's good. That's good.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Mine is inspired by a trip to New York that I went to New York a couple of years ago and did the High Line Walk. And so I've built this kind of this treetop walkway that is dotted with art installations, entertainment places, but I've also got this kind of viewing platform that stretches out over the road and actually juts out, so it kind of overhangs the River Clyde. So
nice.
That's the kind of like meeting space where people can hang out and literally be hovering above the river.
I love that. I love it so much. I've just put something in similar. Who's going to patent it first? Using the river in ways like that is awesome. Really cool. I've also got an idea around like a yoga platform that kind of is built quite high up, and people can go up there and do their Pilates and yoga with a fence around the edge, of course. They could be surrounded by wildlife as they do it.
I'm including some tennis courts. How much time have we got left, David?
I think we've got 30 seconds. I'll give you guys 30 seconds to go, and I'll give you a 10-second countdown, and then we will reconvene. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, that's your time up, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you built some cool stuff. We are going to go over to group 4 now and see what they've built. If you built at home, share your stuff in the chat. We'd love to see it. So group 4, tell us what you've built.
We've kind of gone for the Tapnell Farm kind of idea of the inflatable pillow, and we've made that in the middle of the area. And we also came up with a beehive idea, and we've also made an outdoor office space for meetings and
Wow. So what I love these ideas. What kind of benefits will the outdoor office space give all those people who come in to meet there?
Happy workplaces, so they actually they enjoy coming to work more.
I love it. I love that.
A little bit more sunshine will make work a happier place and make Mondays more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Harry, great ideas, huh?
Yeah, brilliant ideas. I totally agree. We could all do a bit more sunshine. So let's go to group 1 and let's have a look at what you guys have built.
So we've also made an outdoor office space, and we also made a playground.
Okay, great. Outdoor office space and a playground. And okay, that looks really good. And what's unique about your outdoor office space? What's the kind of selling point?
That it's like you've got like an orchard and a garden over here and compost bins. So if you're eating whilst you're having your meeting, you can go and put it straight in the compost bin and help the nature.
I love that idea of an outdoor office space situated in an orchard. I think that would be very enticing. I would love to work in a space like that. So let's move on to our third and final challenge. So this next challenge is all about businesses. So the question that we're asking ourselves here is, what kind of businesses will provide products and services that people need in a more circular way?
Wow. Well, so what kind of things would you consider here, Harry?
Well,
what kind of pointers can you give us?
Let's think back to the 3 principles of the circular economy. So we're looking for businesses that can provide real value for people and for the economy without damaging the natural environment. So we don't want businesses that are going to create a bunch of stuff which only gets used for a short time and then goes to landfill. So we're thinking about, how do we design out the waste and pollution? How do we keep the things that people need in use for as long as possible? And how do we make sure that those businesses are helping to have a positive impact on nature and the natural surroundings? Because all of these elements, the nature, the people and the community, but the businesses as well, they need to be operating in harmony together. That's the kind of future we're aiming for.
Okay, what do you mean by businesses flourishing?
Well, really, I mean businesses that are profitable, so they are sustainable, but are doing so in a way that can contribute positively to the community and nature.
Fantastic. And just lastly, Harry, I mean, how do we build something that represents a business? That sounds so complex.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's quite straightforward. We can just use the bricks to represent anything. It's how we tell the story. So this here could be my community cafe, similar to one of the other groups. And this community cafe could be in my community garden here. And that could be where local people help to grow the fruit, the vegetables, the herbs, and then it gets prepared and cooked in the local cafe here. So I could just choose anything. This could be a theatre, this brick. And so you can build up a picture, tell a story that sort of encompasses or encapsulates your vision.
Fantastic. I think we're ready to build, Harry. So shall we count them in?
Yeah.
Shall I start proceedings?
Yes.
All right. Everyone ready? Your time to build, draw, sculpt, chisel starts now. Off you go. Got 3 minutes. Great. All right. So, Harry, there's one thing I brought in from my last build, the art gallery. So I'm going to make that into more of a business.
Yeah. So what are you doing with your art gallery, David?
So the art gallery it's going to be situated closer to some of the bio areas, the biodiverse areas. Just that connection between art and nature, I think, is really strong. I think we need to use that as a USP, as a selling point for this art gallery. You know, tie it to nature, tie it to regeneration, tie it to all of those wonderful stories that we can tell through various mediums of art, photography, sculptures, paintings. So I'm going to try and make that really clear. How about yourself, Harry? What's going on in your world?
So I've got an idea for a circular fashion company.
Ooh.
It's a shop, and attached to the side of the shop is a place. It's a collection place for clothing, so that all the local inhabitants can come and drop off any items of clothing they're not using or not wearing. And the shop then sorts them and chooses whether to reuse them or repair them or recycle them. But they basically turn those old clothes into cool new clothes. And the shop is all run on solar, so it's solar powered. And it gets rid of all of those waste, waste garments. And I've got an idea for a name. I'm going to call it Reloved.
Nice. You've got your business plan down.
Yeah.
Look out, Alan Sugar. Harry's coming along.
It's the next big thing.
I've put in it's kind of tied with the last build as well, but a rock climbing business. So there's a rock climbing panel wall, so well-being and business. And it's built from, things that we want to reuse and repurpose from industry. So we're putting it back into use, similar to our old replay bricks, putting them back into circulation, back into a different use, which is cool. Okay, how's everyone doing? Looking at the groups, they're still building away. Look at the creativity flowing. Impressive. Good stuff.
I've also got this. I've got this cool idea here as well for a library of things, so that you pay a small subscription, a monthly subscription, and you get access to anything from kids' bikes to Lego kits to drills, computers.
Nice.
It's pretty much whatever you want to get hold of and use for a day or a week, you can access in this my library of things.
Excellent. So, Harry, we I think need to stop building now. I think I'm going to count everyone down, and we're going to be talking to the kids. So, countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop building. So, Harry, over to you. Which group are you going to talk to first?
So let's start with group 2. How are you guys doing? Walk us through your builds.
Ours, we added a new recyclable factory that is solar panelled by all the energy. And then there's also a cleaner way for the people that work there to get there. And there's solar panel charged scooters that can ride along the path. And once they've finished work, they can go over to the nature area.
That's great. And what kind of things are you recycling there?
Tyres, anything really.
That's brilliant. Guys, I love these ideas. They're really good and your builds are fantastic. So can we move on to group 3, please?
We've got our like rooftop garden that we did at the beginning with a little cafe. We've got our little like rock climbing wall. And now, attached to the side, we have something very similar to what David's done. We have done the kind of same thing in that, like, you bring your clothes and they're like get revamped and remade into new things. And we like hire exclusively like new graduates from like fashion programs and things like that, so that they like it's still like a very young kind of what's it called? Staff, like a young staff for younger audiences and things like that, to get them more into sustainability and things like that.
Well done. And it looked like it looked to me like a train was pulling it all along. What's happening there?
Well, we have a solar-powered train to just show this wonderful business off to Glasgow? To show it off to people of Glasgow. And yeah, it just goes around nice and slowly, so you can educate people in the process. They can look at our.
That's your rooftop garden and cafe, but it's mobile. It's pulled by a train.
Yeah,
I love
very
it.
slowly.
I love it. That is really cool. Why be fixed and static in one place when you can just cruise around on a train? I love the train as well. You've even got the detail of the smoke billowing out. That is an awesome train. Okay, great. Should we speak to one other group then? Actually, no, David. David, what have you built?
Well, you heard a little bit earlier. I've got this a couple of things for well-being. I added a rock climbing wall made out of recyclable materials, things that from industry that we can repurpose and keep in circulation. I built another, I think the outdoor working space is a great theme. So I've added one to my space because that can be revenue driving, but equally the people around here, as the young people pointed out, they can add to compost and things like that. So bring them in. And this kind of space is great for that. And then there's the art gallery. I think the art gallery is the one I keep harking on about. That's the one I'd love to build up and just use it for so many different things. But that's overall, Harry. That's what I added.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, David. So now that you've begun to play around with some ideas relating to nature, people and community and business, that was just the start. The really, really exciting thing is what happens next is how you build on and develop that in response to the challenge. And that's what we're setting you now. We're going to ask you to take a bit more time, perhaps another lesson or two, to really build on these ideas, keep adding, until you're happy you've got a fully realized vision for what you would like to do with this space. And you're going to, well, hopefully you will send us your photos and or videos by May 31st, and we will collect them all together and we'll create an online gallery so that you can see and comment on, hopefully, but you'll be able to look at each other's ideas and visions. And these will be ideas from people from all over the world. So that will be really, really fantastic. And the exciting thing is that your builds will be reviewed and showcased as part of the COP26 climate conference. And your ideas may well inform the future of this site in Glasgow. So this is a real genuine challenge here and a genuine opportunity. From all the submissions that we receive, we'll be choosing one lucky person to attend our Circular Economy Summer School in August on the Isle of Wight. As I'd like to just mention here, we've got some guiding questions to help support you. And these are right here. But it's really important to remember the interconnected nature of this challenge. Now, we've broken it down into chunks, but really we need to be coming at this very much together, thinking about nature, people and businesses and how they intersect, how they come together harmoniously to create a future, a vision that is really, really positive and inspiring. So go away, that's your challenge, and send us what you come up with. Right, it's been a fantastic day. We've explored our creativity, we've done some incredible builds, and we've seen some amazing things from the students, and I hope that all of you out there can also come up with some amazing ideas. I look forward to seeing those, and I know David does too. I'd like to say a massive thank you to the Ride School pupils who have been building along with us today and for sharing their brilliant ideas. Also to David from the Lego Group for helping us put this session together. And of course, all of you lot out there who have also been busy building. Finally, a reminder to send us your completed vision for the site in Glasgow by May 31st. You can send your pictures and or videos and a short descriptive paragraph to us at CE Webinars for Teens at ellenmacarthurfoundation.org. Thank you very much.